what a week it has been. So last time that you guys saw me, it was probably 12 degrees and there was snow on the ground. Today we had a high right at 70 and the snow is gone. It's been gone for a couple of days. Yesterday it was pretty warm as well. We were in the 60s as we were the day before that. But yesterday, me and our old pal Matthew went out to the lake and we tried to do some fishing. Now usually this time of the year I wouldn't do any fishing, but now that I have the kayak, I have the option to get out, you know, on the lake and do stuff like that, get out farther, get off of the bank. And I really wanted to take it out to try out a new tool, a tool that I'm going to be using to catch these fish in the wintertime offshore and in the summertime offshore. Honestly, I feel like everybody should have one of these. It's a pretty cool tool. I didn't like it at first. I didn't like the thought of it at first, but I went ahead and got one. It was a deal that I couldn't pass up. We'll talk about that later on in the video. But for right now, let's take a look at what I'm talking about. It's pretty cool. So this is it. This is my new toy. It is a Raymarine Dragonfly 7 Pro. This thing has opened up a world of opportunities for me, especially fishing in the wintertime, because winter fish kind of go deep. They go a lot deeper. I'm not used to that. I like fishing deep. I just don't get to do it very often. But with this and the kayak, now I have the opportunity. I no longer have to sit on the bank, fish, you know, what I see. I can actually go out offshore, find, you know, these ledges, these humps, and these fish that are in the water, and I can fish for them. It makes it a lot different. And there's a ton of people out there that will argue that, you know, looking on a depth finder is not actually fishing. It's like it does the job for you. You just go up and you find them, you catch them. That is not the truth. That is far from the truth, and my trip yesterday more than showed that. I found fish. I scanned fish on ledges yesterday, a couple different ledges, and besides all the Asian carp floating through Kentucky Lake, I actually did find a good concentration of bass and even what I think is a giant school of crappie that I never would have seen if I hadn't have had this unit on my boat. As you can see, I have it mounted on my little hatch right here. The battery's inside, everything's inside. I was really debating on whether or not putting it on the gear tracks that are on the side of this so I can just sit there and look at it, but I kind of like having it between my feet because I can sit there and look at it. Now there's a ton of different features about this thing, or with this thing, and I'm going to go over a few of them with you, and I'll tell you why I think every angler should at least have one of these things, one specific feature of these things on their boat. So what's really cool about this is it shows you what's under the water. You have two different settings right here. This is your traditional sonar. As you can see, it has the different colors. The red shows a darker bottom. This is a softer bottom right here. It's kind of yellow, and right here it looks like there's a tree, but if you look at the down view, which I happen to like a lot, in some cases I like it more than the sonar, you can see that that actually is a tree, and it looks like there's a few fish maybe suspended around it, or at least some bait, some kind of turbulence up in here. Not really sure what that is, but you can see the trees, you can see all kinds of different stuff, and it really shows you stuff that you couldn't see before, especially from the bank. You can't see this stuff. Now, like I said, a lot of people really don't like fish finders. They don't like the idea of it, and that's fine. You don't have to use the fish finder itself. But there is one thing that I do suggest that I think that everybody should have, and that is GPS on your fish finder. GPS is really important. If you get lost out on your lake, say you're someplace with a ton of grass and such, and you get lost, that's not good. You can use this to actually find where you're at, and it'll even show you kind of where you've been. You can place waypoints. The waypoints will show up. It can show you navigation routes, even though it is suggested not to follow them from this thing. However, most of them, if you're following a channel or something like that, they're pretty correct. You can use this thing to look at a lot of different maps. I'm not sure how many maps I have on here. I'm pretty sure I have all the United States though. So you can literally look at any waterway. It's really awesome, and I think every angler, especially every boater, should have this in their boat. Even if they don't use the sonar, they still need this so they can at least navigate, find that water, and they can even, find some structure off of this thing and fish without the depth finder. The depth finder is awesome to have. It can help you find a lot of stuff, but some people just aren't into it, and that's perfectly okay. So this thing is a huge help, and I didn't really want one for the kayak, but this was a deal that I couldn't pass up. Let's talk about that for a second. So like I mentioned, I did not plan on getting a depth finder for the kayak, but there's really two reasons that I did. Number one, for that navigation factor, and I also realized that winter was coming whenever I got it, and I would have to find offshore fish, and I thought that that'd be the perfect way to do it. It could teach me some whenever I actually get another bass boat or fix mine. I wanted to put a depth finder like that in it, so sticking one in it now actually helps me. It teaches me, it shows me things, or it helps teach me things that I should be looking for whenever I actually get to that level. Now the other thing was, it was affordable. The actual unit itself cost, I believe, below $600. But the thing with mine was, it was during a auction, a silent auction, and nobody was really bidding on it. For an hour or two, there was nobody that bid on it, and then I came up and started the whole thing off. Skip to the end of that, I won the thing for $225, which is absolutely amazing for a unit like that. Some of the other $200 depth finders on the market don't even have GPS. They don't have a big screen like that. In fact, none of them really do, and they don't have all the different features that one has. So I just had to go for it. I had to try to get it, and I ended up with it, and I felt like maybe that's what should have happened. Maybe that's the way it should have been. I was supposed to get that in life, and I stuck it on the kayak, and I really like it on the kayak. It gives me eyes below me. I feel really weird going out on the kayak, especially in open water. But with that thing, I have a sense of security, especially if I'm on like a flat or something and I think I'm in like 7,000 feet of water. So, it gives me a sense of security, and I really like it. I want to thank you guys for watching this episode. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you see whenever I upload. We try to have videos out every 3 days or so. I'll see you guys later. Hopefully there'll be a lot more fishing to come. It's going to be really warm the next few weeks coming into springtime. I cannot wait for it. I'll see you right here next time.